Welcome to Soulful Connect, where every story celebrates life, love, and the human spirit. Join us for inspiring narratives that bridge divides, spark kindness, and remind us of our shared humanity. Discover the incredible journey of The Homeless Guardian, a story of unseen heroism, resilience, and the power of quiet acts of kindness to transform lives. Amid the bustling streets of downtown Boston, where skyscrapers loomed, ambitions soared, and lives intersected in an intricate dance of purpose, who watches over the people who slip through the cracks? Emily Dawson, a high-flying corporate attorney whose life revolved around deadlines and courtroom dramas, had never paused to ponder this question. Her world was a whirlwind of power suits and legal victories, leaving little room for the unseen struggles of others, until a chance encounter forced her to confront the invisible heroism hidden in plain sight. It was a crisp autumn morning, the kind that made the city's edges sharper and its colors brighter. Emily navigated the bustling sidewalks with her usual purpose, her heels clicking against the pavement in a rhythm that matched her fast-paced thoughts. Her briefcase, a sleek symbol of her professional success, was clutched tightly as she mentally rehearsed arguments for a multi-million-dollar case. As she approached the corner of 5th and Main, her routine was disrupted. Sitting against a graffiti-marked wall was a man whose appearance contrasted starkly with the city's polished exterior. His clothes were worn, his face weathered by time and hardship, yet his demeanor exuded an unshakable calm. In his hands was a cardboard sign that read, "Tomorrow isn't promised, but today we can make a difference." Emily's steps slowed involuntarily, her gaze drawn to the man's piercing blue eyes. They held a depth that felt ancient, as though they had witnessed countless stories, triumphs, and tragedies. "What's your name?" she asked, her voice faltering slightly. It was an unusual question for her, born out of a curiosity she couldn't quite explain. The man tipped his tattered cap and replied, "Call me Max." His voice was rough but steady, each word carrying a weight that belied his humble appearance. "And what brings a lady like you to my corner of the world?" Emily hesitated, torn between the demands of her schedule and the unshakable pull to stay. Against her usual instincts, she lingered. Over the next few days, Emily found herself returning to Max's corner after work, her initial hesitation giving way to a growing sense of intrigue. Their conversations became longer and deeper, revealing glimpses of a life far removed from her own. Max spoke with a wisdom that seemed to come from a place of profound experience. He described a family he had lost, hinted at a military background, and recounted his journey to the streets with a mixture of sorrow and acceptance. Despite his circumstances, Max's outlook remained unyieldingly positive. "Life doesn't owe us anything," he told Emily one evening as the city lights began to flicker on. "But that doesn't mean we can't give it something back." Then, one evening, Max's tone shifted. His words took on a cryptic edge as he said, "This city has its secrets, Emily, and sometimes it's the ones you overlook who keep you safe." Emily dismissed his comment as the musings of a man shaped by hardship, but the memory lingered. Days later, when she was accosted by a mugger in a dark alley, Max's words took on new meaning. Out of nowhere he appeared, his wiry frame moving with surprising agility. He disarmed the attacker with a skill that seemed almost instinctual, then disappeared into the shadows before Emily could even process what had happened. Shaken and unable to ignore the mystery surrounding Max, Emily decided to investigate. Her search led her to old newspaper archives, local shelters, and the VA hospital. What she uncovered left her speechless. Max was no ordinary man. He was a decorated war hero, celebrated for his bravery and ingenuity during a covert mission that saved dozens of lives. But his service had come at a cost. A single tragic mistake had led to the death of his closest friend, and the weight of that guilt had driven him to the streets. Yet even in his self-imposed exile, Max had found a purpose. His corner wasn't just a resting place, it was a vantage point. From there, he had been quietly protecting the neighborhood, intervening in petty crimes, and helping the vulnerable with a quiet determination that defied his circumstances. One evening, Emily confronted him with what she had learned. "Why do you hide this part of yourself?" she asked. Max shrugged, a faint smile on his lips. "Heroes don't wear capes, Emily. They don't need applause. My reward is knowing I made a difference." One fateful night, Emily's office building became a scene of chaos. She was working late when the fire alarm blared, sending her colleagues into a panicked rush. Smoke began to fill the corridors, and the air grew thick with tension. As Emily guided others to safety, it became clear that the fire was no accident. Amid the chaos, Max appeared, his face streaked with soot and determination. "How did you—" Emily began, but Max cut her off. "No time for questions," he said. "Follow me." With a calm born of experience, Max navigated the smoke-filled building, leading Emily and a group of coworkers to safety. But as they reached the exit, faint cries from deeper inside the building caught his attention. Without hesitation, Max turned back. Moments later, the building collapsed in a deafening roar. Those outside watched in stunned silence, fearing the worst. Then, through the haze of dust and rubble, Max emerged, carrying an unconscious janitor over his shoulder. His strength seemed almost superhuman, his resolve unbreakable. The media descended on the scene, heralding Max as a hero. But as the cameras turned away, he disappeared into the night, leaving behind only a note for Emily. Keep making a difference. Max's actions left an indelible mark on Emily. Inspired by his courage and humility, she decided to honor his legacy. She launched Guardians Among Us, a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting homeless veterans and sharing their untold stories. Through her work, she discovered countless others like Max, hidden heroes who had quietly shaped their communities. From Max, Emily learned 3 profound lessons. Lesson 1. Appearances can be deceiving. Max's tattered clothes and unassuming demeanor hid a heart of unparalleled courage and selflessness. Lesson 2. True heroes act without expectation. Max's bravery wasn't driven by the promise of recognition, but by an unwavering commitment to protect others. Lesson 3. Small actions ripple into big impacts. From a watchful corner to a daring rescue, Max showed that even the smallest gestures of kindness can transform lives. Max's story is a powerful reminder that heroes walk among us, often unnoticed and uncelebrated. His courage and humility transformed Emily's life and inspired countless others. Let's honor these unsung guardians by opening our hearts and taking action. Volunteer at a shelter, support veterans programs, or simply acknowledge the humanity in everyone you meet. Subscribe to Soulful Connect for more stories of unlikely heroes and everyday legends. Together, let's shine a light on the unseen and make a difference, one story at a time.